The Buckeyes are preparing for battle, and you're preparing to listen to them. Equally important, this is Fan Warm-Up.
All right, Buckeye basketball fans, here we go. Game number 9 of the young basketball season. The Buckeyes are coming off of consecutive losses to Pitt. That was a home game last Friday. That was the day before the big Ohio State-Michigan football game. Playing a blue and yellow squad. They played well. The offense was cooking in that Pitt game, but a couple of mishaps happened, fouling three-point shooters, not being completely locked, letting a guy that wasn't really high on the scouting report knock in 5 threes, and of course the last one was a buzzer beater 3 in overtime, and Pitt walks out of there with a 91-90 win. Then you roll that to this past week, and the Buckeyes go on the road for their first Big Ten game against Maryland, and that was one of the more shocking first halves, or forget first half or second half, just one of the more shocking halves of basketball I've ever witnessed covering the Bucks. And it happened to be the first half. And you never want to lose a basketball game that quickly into it. Like sometimes you can tell you can take a gut punch. You can take a body blow. Sometimes these Big Ten environments that you're going to play in are raucous, whether you're playing at Mackey or the Breslin Center, but give credit to the Xfinity Center in College Park. That is a really, really lit college basketball environment. That was a loud crowd. Their student section can get nasty. They do their research. They had Aaron Bradshaw jokes going around. Like they had it all. And it was 50-17 by half. And the Buckeyes, we're talking about how they won the second half. I mean, when Maryland was up by 40 points at one point early in the second, and then they kind of, human nature, I think, sets in, and you're not really looking to win the game by 50 or 60 at that point. But that was a game where Kevin Willard and his Terps came out, and they looked like something was personal against the Buckeyes. That's how they played. That's how I would like to see Ohio State play today, as they have a 5-3 Rutgers squad here in town for the noon tip-off. And we're just getting the table set for it here. So we know that Rutgers has 2 of the more dynamic players in college basketball that also happen to be true freshmen. And as I was talking with the guys back there, with Tito and Reeser on Fan Sports Saturday, my one glimmer of hope with these 2 guys is they're going on the road and they're true freshmen. It's the one thing that you can say is an advantage, is that old can win out in the end in college basketball. Even if you might not be at the exact talent level, you don't have quite the same size, speed, or athleticism, but playing smarter, being more connected, being more together, up and down throughout your roster, that can sometimes help. But I will tell you, like for these 2 guys, if you don't know a lot about them yet, it's another Harper son. It's Dylan Harper, the best player for Rutgers. But you can argue if Ace Bailey, that it's 2 guys. It's a 1-2 punch. It's 6'10" freshman from Chattanooga, Ace Bailey, and it's New Jersey's own Dylan Harper. Harper's the 6'6" guy. He's the guy that's he's a walking bucket. He can do everything. He's a 24-game guy. He had back-to-back games against Notre Dame, Bodie, and Alabama, where he went for 36 and 37 points. They beat Notre Dame in overtime, and they're coming off of back-to-back losses too. I think that's the thing. So Ohio State and Rutgers, both at 5-3, both coming off of back-to-back losses. For Rutgers, though, it was Alabama, and this was still in the Players Era tournament, the event in Las Vegas. That's where they got that first win against Notre Dame, and then they lost to Texas A&M. So it was 95-90 to Bama, 81-77 to A&M. Both top 20 teams. Bama's a top 10 team that also just walked into the Dean Dome this past week, pretty much dog-walked North Carolina. And A&M, Ohio State saw a pretty good version of Texas A&M in their home environment in College Station. They didn't win that game. They dropped it. That's a top 20 team too. So they're not bad losses. Rutgers had a bad loss against Kennesaw State, 79-77 early this year, and that's how they get to where they are. So that's what we have in front of us here today. I am very curious to see how this Buckeye basketball team comes out and responds to the way that last game went and having a big challenge in front of them with Rutgers. I'm dying to hear what our guy Ron Stokes has to say about that. And we'll do it now. Let's keep breaking down the Bucks with Stokes.
It's time to go inside the Buckeyes with OSU basketball analyst and former captain Ron Stokes.
Ron, always love catching up with you on Buckeye basketball. We got a big one here today. You got to take us back to your views and what went on in that game against Maryland this week.
Well, obviously, both teams have a directive in terms of what's most important to them, and just having the opportunity to listen to what Coach Diebler and their coaching staff want to do. They knew that they were going to be pressed. They knew that they had to keep the ball off the sidelines and down the middle and be aggressive. And conversely, Maryland didn't want Ohio State to be good from beyond the arc. Well, we all know which deployment worked. Maryland took Ohio State out of everything they tried to do, and they kept them from shooting threes, and they pressured Ohio State and disrupted their offense. Even with that all being said, did not expect 50-17.
No.
They're not that much better than Ohio State, but clearly you give Maryland all the credit in the world. They have to respond. They have to come back and win this game at home. There's no doubt about it. It's going to do a lot for their confidence, but equally as important, it's a home game. And these, I was talking to Skip here a few moments ago. These are very important in a competitive Big Ten conference.
I mean, Ron, we just saw Purdue, who I don't know how much you've gone over the whole league, but I think they're probably still the team to beat, even losing Zach Edey. They got a good roster, and they just went to Penn State and lost by 10 or 11. Like, we know there's no – when you're at home, like, that's what my point there is, that Penn State knows that it's got to try and beat Purdue, even if they are the best team in the league, because home games, like what the Bucks have here today, are that valuable.
So, Tim, here's the question mark that no one knows, right? Because in athletics – we know that the NIL is impacting everything. The transfer portal.
Totally.
Teams are turning over their rosters. They're bringing in two-year guys, three-year guys. You don't know 1 or 2 months in how well it's going to jail, right? You look at Meechie Johnson, for example, had transferred from South Carolina, had a great all-conference season there, but he clearly is struggling with his transition back to Ohio State. Other programs, the guys who've transferred in, are playing a lot better. So clearly you just don't know. You look at Illinois, they brought in some guys from across the waters onto their roster. They're playing great. Northwestern has some guys that have been in their program. It's a competitive conference, Tim, and Ohio State has got to continue to grow and get better.
So we talked a little bit about Meechie. I'm going to ask you about him. He's shooting the ball 37.2% right now, which you never want to see from one of your guards, one of your scoring guards that is supposed to pace your team. Is it mental for him right now with, like you mentioned, the transition? But what do you want to see him do basketball-wise to try to start to dig his way out of this? More driving to the hoop, maybe?
Well, clearly, when you're struggling from the outside, the remedy for that, Tim, is to get to the basket, because you can drive, use your quickness, get fouled, get points on the line, which you can develop confidence. So that's something that he definitely needs to do. I mean, he didn't shoot his first free throw until, third, fourth game in a year.
Right.
So he has got to do a better job getting to the line.
And he's only shooting 50% at the line. We got to make him when we get there.
That's right. But also on top of that, you made a comment about it's always mental as a basketball player. Having confidence and the belief that you're going to be successful out on the court or in the field or whatever sport you may play is so important. It's tough enough as a senior. There's inward pressure because you know it's your last year. Here's a young man that transferred in to come back home. I got to believe he knows that he's not playing his best basketball, so he has just got to relax, trust his skill set, and go out there and be the best Meechie Johnson that he can be.
You know, Ron, I said before, it's rare when you even see a Kentucky, Duke, Kansas, or North Carolina get not one but two level freshmen like Bailey and Harper. And they got him at Rutgers this year.
Yeah, you give Coach Pikiell a lot of credit. I mean, in terms of bringing in one of the best recruiting classes ever in the history of Rutgers. And you're talking about guys who will be lottery picks. These are legitimate players. They got skill. The one advantage Ohio State has potentially today is that they are freshmen. Even though they're talented as can be, they are young. As you know, they've struggled. They lost 3 games so far. But I tell you, I'm concerned. You get talent in this building, they get confident, and their talents start to show. It could be a long afternoon. Hopefully Ohio State can disrupt them and do not allow them to get off to a great start.
Boy, oh boy, grit, toughness, energy, physicality, whatever it takes to try to beat this team today. Ron, always appreciate it.
All right, Tim, go Bucks.
Go Bucks indeed. Ron Stokes, Paul Keels, Skip Mossick will have some network pregame coming up here. Ohio State basketball at home at the Schottenstein Center taking on Rutgers. I'll see you afterwards for some extended postgame. Buckeye Hoops coming up next on The Fan.
You've been listening to Fan Warm-Up. Stay tuned for Buckeye basketball on your flagship home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
Tech scams, identity thieves, data leaks. Hearing about these online threats every day can be stressful. But don't worry. McAfee Total Protection is here to help you live a worry-free life online. What does worry-free mean? Well, it means you won't have to wonder if that text message is a scam, if new threats will pop up on your PC, or if you're safe from identity theft. Visit McAfee.com/online protection today to get award-winning online protection for just $39.99 your first year. That's McAfee.com/online protection. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
Snip, tuck, fold, crease, tuck, tape.
It's not that complicated, Dad.
Wrap, crease, tape, twist, tape.
Ohio Lottery scratch offs make great holiday gifts. And play Holiday Bonus Millions with a 200 times multiplier and a $2 million top prize.
Fold, crinkle, crinkle, roll.
Plus, you can enter non-winning tickets in My Lotto Rewards for a second chance to win up to 1,000 times the price of your ticket.
Please crinkle, gate, fold, ribbon, curl, scrunch.
The best part, Dad? No wrapping required.
No tuck, fold?
No tuck, fold.
Give the gift of fun. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and condition regulations. Play responsibly.
Meijer holiday deals are here. Shop Meijer to find gifts for everyone on your list and save money while you're at it. This week at Meijer, earn a $10 coupon when you spend $100 or more in store. Redeemable December 8th through the 14th. Plus, Yankee Candle products are buy one, get one of equal or lesser value for just $1. And for the young at heart, enjoy 25% off toys from popular brands like Disney Princess, Fisher-Price, and Little Live Pets. Shop Meijer and bring joy to the holiday season. Some exclusions apply. See Meijer.com for details.
With the new made-in-house breakfast sandwiches at United Dairy Farmers, mornings are made for you. So whether you're heading into work or working from home, dropping off the kids at school or the dog at daycare, you're in for a treat, like a made this morning Canadian bacon, egg, and cheese croissant, and special seasonal donuts fresh from our family bakery. Add a cup of coffee you can make as bold and creamy as you like, and your morning's gonna be
Perfect.
United Dairy Farmers Breakfast, made for you.
Taking out the trash. That's what we're all about at Bourne Brothers Waste Services. This is Justin Bourne,
Zach Bourne, and Jacoby Bourne, former Ohio State football players.
We are your company for all of your trash and recycling needs.
Providing services that include front-load containers, mini and large roll-offs, and compactors. Contact us today for the best service in town. Bourne Brothers.
Bourne Brothers.
The real local trash company.
Taking out the trash.
Ready to hit the road in a new car? With Pathways, enjoy up to 90 days with no payments and low auto loan rates. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
'Tis the season to raise a little Cane with Raising Cane's. Spread joy with craveable chicken finger meals and treat everyone on your nice list to a Cane's gift card or plush puppy, which benefits local pet organizations. Happy holidays from Raising Cane's.